the type banners that have, you know, AGL Pan, Rildo, the tech banner with Tien and second form Cell, Vegeta, Gohan for Int, Hit and Kaba for STR, and Gohan and Boo for physical. These banners are coming back to global. And as you can see, their EZAs are coming very, very, very soon for global as well. And because these banners are returning, because these characters are pretty rare, I know a lot of players are going to be dumping a lot of stones into this. And I do say, I'll say this right now, with the landscape of the game, I would say that these characters are definitely not bad, but overrated. And I say overrated for a few reasons. One, to make sure that you understand exactly what you're getting yourself into before you summon for these types of banners. But in terms of these characters literally do the exact same thing. The only thing that changes in their kit is their super attack effect, which does change. And then everything else is either super class or extreme class, depending on the character, right? And then, of course, just that one little thing in their passive. So, attack and defense plus 50% per extreme type. Physical extreme or super physical type, right? So, again, their passives outside of that are literally the exact same. Which means the problem that one character has is a problem that every single character has. And it is that they are specific supports for specific types. We are not in the meta where we are running mono teams, right? I don't remember the last time someone ran like a, you have to run a mono AGL team, meaning a team of full AGL characters or full tech or full whatever, to get the full use out of these characters. It's AGL type 3 key and 10% attack and defense. This support is not good. If this came out today, this is just not good. Because if you're putting this girl in Hybrid Saiyans, only supporting AGL for any of these teams is not good. So you're going out of your way to build a very mono team, and then when you face a type of disadvantaged enemy, you're dying, right? So okay, this is just not good. Okay, cool. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 50% per AGL type. So you are literally penalized for not bringing AGL characters, right? Now, in a mode where you need to bring mono tech, mono physical, mono STR, these characters will be great options. They support, they change orbs, they're great. But for a majority of the game, that's just not the case. So again, you're not going to be able to see this, hence this character is just not going to look that great. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, AGL excluded to AGL key spheres, definitely a very good ability. Attack and defense plus 50% per key sphere obtained, and this is where that ability, again, becomes not so great. Being able to change orbs is one thing, but then to have to rely on those orbs to look good is a completely different thing. And this character having to not only depend on super AGL types on the team, or, yeah, wait, hold on, plus additional attack per, yeah, exactly. So, not only having to rely on super AGL types on the team, but also have to change those orbs and rely on those same exact orbs to at least look decent is very restrictive for teams that are not mono teams, right? And then she gets extra stats and extra crit chance per AGL key sphere obtained. If you're not getting AGL key spheres, this girl, she's just gonna suck. And it's the same with every character here. If you don't get tech orbs with these guys, int orbs with these guys, STR orbs with these guys, and physical orbs with these guys, they're just gonna suck. They're not going to be viable. You can have rotations where they look good, right? Where you change all the orbs on the field and you collect all those physical orbs. There's definitely going to be times where, I mean, you can literally bring, STR Kaba on a full super class STR team, change the full orbs, change the full field of orbs to STR, and this guy is going to cook. All of these characters have that ability, but it's just not feasible. It's not practical. You're not going to do that, naturally. You're going to have to go out of your way to make that. And once you do that, you're never running a Super AGL team again, right? Unless you're doing something like Ultimate Clash. And summoning on these banners just for Ultimate Clash isn't, these aren't going to be difference makers in that aspect either. So it's not really worth it. What I do to get these characters is I summon on, like, let's say very specific, like, blue coin banners here or there, and then I save those blue coins to buy these characters, like, in the shop. And, you know, if you're one multi away from being able to buy one of these, you know, characters in the shop, then do it, right? At least you'll be able to buy the character. But it's like, to go out of your way to farm up those blue coins to buy them and spend, you know, 3, 4, 500 stones, it's just not worth it, because these characters aren't really giving you, you know, that type of value, you know. And then let's see here, changes all key spheres to AGL key spheres with HP's 50% or less, and there's another 2 or more super class allies on the team once only. Guards all attacks for 4 turns from the start of turn when another 3 or more AGL type allies are on the team. So it's like you have to run an AGL team for this character to work. You have to run tag team for all of these characters to function. It's very restrictive, and right now Dokkan isn't really in a landscape to take advantage of these characters and make these characters look as good as they possibly can. There are niche situations, niche events where these characters can cook, but outside of that, it's like most of the game, I would argue 90% is giving way too much credit to these guys, but I'll say 90% of the game, you're just not, you have to run a full tech team. And when are you ever running a full tech team? Unless it's like, again, like for memes, or you just want to have fun, right? Or you just, you know, are looking to be Ultimate Clash, right? So when more events come up that require tech teams and specific tech, you know, whatever the case, like when they require that, then these characters, you know, will just increase in value. And then we can, you know, talk about the best categories for these characters as well, and talk about, you know, how a lot of them aren't even great, but we don't even need to go there, all right? Because again, these characters aren't super consistent themselves in terms of being able to be like this character. If you ran this character on GT boss, let's take a look at GT bosses, right? GT bosses. So let's say you run GT bosses, right? How many AGO characters here are you genuinely running? Okay, so you're running Omega, that's 1. Baby, it's 2. And of course you have to have these characters. These are not free. You have to have these characters. That's 2. And then Rildo is 3. And I'll give you Super 17 for 4. Even though I don't know if you're really running him, but I'll give you Super 17 for 4. So that's 4 AGL characters. So this character is giving 3 key and 10% to AGL type. So those guys are getting a little bit of a buff. Plus an additional attack and defense, plus 50% per extreme AGL type. So that's already, what, 200% to attack and defense on an extreme class GT bosses team, right? Now, 200% sounds like a massive bit. These stats aren't super duper incredible. 200%, you're not hitting 5. I mean, with everything else, you could possibly be hitting 5 mil attacks, to be honest, but you're not hitting like those crazy numbers that you're gonna be like, wow, this is super, oh my, like this is crazy worth it, you know? And then when you factor in that this character needs orbs to really look good, and then basically you're stealing orbs from all of these other characters here, either this character looks good and Omega, Baby, Super 17, and these other characters don't have enough orbs, or you give all those AGL orbs that they're changing to Omega or Baby, and you leave this character with almost nothing, which means you're just not looking good, right? So it's a very situational character. All of these guys are very situational, which means honestly it really just is not worth to summon. It's cool for collection purpose, like if you want to be a collector, that's great, but collect them after anniversary. All right, got it, cool. I love you, take care and peace.